voices in our heads now have a frequency. America's first competition talk show.
The hub is engaging.
Talk Life. Good morning and welcome to the Hub. All week long we have Gil, Michael, and Bart on the panel, and you can vote on who won the face-off debate on Wednesday's show earlier this week. Was it Michael? Was it Gil? And you can vote on who won. We'll post it in the comments section. We'll tell you who won next Wednesday this Wednesday on the program. Now, you know, there's a lot of interesting stuff coming out of Arizona these days. Arizona has the new immigration law. They also have a lesser-known ordinance going on and Northern Arizona University right now in Flagstaff, where they are actually making students swipe a card when they get into class. They literally have to check into class. There's no more of the old-fashioned, check the names off the list. We're going to go around the class and do a roll call. Modern-day digital roll call. You now have to swipe yourself in to get into class. And the problem here is just like my issue that I've had forever with the traffic cameras, which are just unfair and inhumane. This is the same thing. I mean, you're policing it to an extreme because if I should have the window of human error in there to where if the teacher's eyesight is that bad or if she's just that lazy or doesn't know, I mean, if she can't get it right in this capacity, I don't want her to be able to look at my digital log and demerit me for, or get a lesson grade because of this. I just think this is going too far, Bart. We got to do better.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you about
You're a number at this point. You're just a number.
I agree with you about the traffic cams. It's amazing how much money we've spent on those. But on this case, I mean, to me, this is not that big of a deal. I mean, it's just swiping a card in. They're going to be doing that the rest of their lives when they get into the workforce. You're going to be swiping a card. You might as well get used to it in high school.
That's the hour check. I mean, it's a little bit different, but
isn't
Gil,
part of going to college you either go or you don't go. You learn.
And apply for a credit card. It's the first thing you do when you get there.
Too much money on that, obviously, but I mean, it's you're an adult in college. There isn't a truant officer. The professor really has to decide, like you were saying, not a electronic system. I think that what is that really about? I would question that's really about truancy. There's something behind that probably isn't that noble or sincere. Yeah. So if you got right down to it, I think that's not really accomplishing what you're supposed to accomplish in college.
Yeah, and I don't know what happened to the good old-fashioned incentive of getting a good education so that I can actually get a job.
To some degree,
we lost that with 10% unemployment.
To some degree, that's part of going to college is to grow and to understand that you have responsibility and things that you have to accomplish to get through and get a degree, not to just check in and log in.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's a utopian worldview. But
I hear you.
There you go. Now, here we go. The other thing going on in Arizona is obviously the immigration law. And for those who have read it, Senate Bill 1070, the interesting thing that's going on right now is that the most recent article that's coming out of the Phoenix Examiner now is saying that this is in no way different. This law is in no way different than the existing federal law and, quite frankly, the California law. And when you put the three side by side, so is this honestly a witch hunt with Arizona during an election year? Because I believe it really has nothing more to do with anything but that at this point. Michael?
Yeah, I agree. As you said, the federal government has a similar law. California has a similar law. So we're coming into the elections in November, and it's an opportunity to make it a political issue because that's just frankly the way it is. And for the people that agree with allowing people to come across the border illegally and use our resources, they're going to shout the loudest. And others that believe that this is completely the right thing to do in order to control our borders in the absence of federal government protecting the borders, then that's just the way it is. It's just the way it is.
Well, and if you live on the border, I mean, that's the thing that people just do not understand is that they have been, basically this is a toughening. This is putting teeth into existing law and enforcement law, so to speak. And if you live on the border, and if you listen to the stories that folks have coming off of it from literally human passageways, human thoroughfares, human superhighways coming into Phoenix and other areas, you'll see that, hundreds of thousands of discarded backpacks. And just, human refuse and all these kind of things from people just trying to get, on the other side. And I don't know how this does anything but deter that.
Well, you have crime. You have a lot of crime, and I guess to me, you have a lot of energy being spent on really not a solution. You're getting upset about something that doesn't take into effect that you need to have a workable solution, that the federal government have apparently on both sides are not interested in that. I don't know if that's something the Tea Party really wants to take on either. I think all three parties, that is the third rail. You don't want to piss off the Mexicans because they're the largest growing demographic. You got to have their vote. And if you touch this thing right now, you could be setting your party back for 2 or 3 elections. And if you don't set up a workable solution, you're going to continue to have problems in Arizona.
It is a tinderbox right now, and honestly, I think this year we're talking about it because it has gotten so bad for the Democrats right now that redistricting no longer works. I mean, you've got to have a better solution. You've got to add some voters on the rolls, and obviously this won't be the case for everyone, but for many, it could be a game changer in November. Bart?
I think it's a good debate to have right now.
I don't think it's going to do anything, honestly, but
yeah, I mean, I'm glad it very well could. I mean, Arizona it took some courage to step up and do this for that governor to do this, and basically she's just saying, she's doing what the federal law says. She just basically rewrote it for the state of Arizona. Today, President Obama announced that they're sending 1,200 National Guard troops down to the border, so he's starting to recognize something. I mean, that's it's a
John
McCain's flipped
earlier this week,
position.
and John McCain, who was, it's never good enough. We needed 6,000. We needed 5,000.
Well, yeah, he's flipped his whole position on this issue now. Janet Napolitano, the Department of Homeland Security secretary, as governor of New Mexico, was billing the federal government for the cost of illegal aliens, and now she's not stepping up when she's in the position to do so.
And Michael, you're in law enforcement. Do the numbers really matter that much? I mean, when it all comes down to it, 2,000, 5,000, 10,000, how much do the numbers really matter in reining the problem in?
Well, the overall numbers don't mean as much as the numbers of crimes that are taking place and the cost to our society, example, for health care, for example. Once you see the cost of the individuals that are coming, that's where the impact is. And government, for all the things that it does, and many things that I believe are unconstitutional, protecting the borders, securing our nation is one of those responsibilities that the federal government should undertake. And if you seal off the border, then we can deal with all these other issues, but it's more politically expedient to just let things ride out the way they are.
Well, and it has created a war between two states because California right now and Arizona are duking it out. We've got Pierce's power play. Hello, Gary Pierce, who's with the Arizona Corporation Commission, has said, we'll shut the power off.
Click.
Click, lights out. And I think, this could really galvanize the Hollywood community behind immigration enforcement as an issue, because when they're having to power their mansions and their parties on Friday night with gas-powered generators, everything may change.
Let's put windmills in their backyard.
Windmills in their backyard. T. Pickens, we got a plan for you. Tom Cruise. We'll see you tomorrow.